We can start. Before I start, ladies and gentlemen, I just want quickly those who are connected for this morning's program, just give out your name, the place from where you are connected. That's it. In whatever order, just give out so that let me get a sense before we start uh, get cracking on the main issue.
Sir,
Is this okay, Vignesh? Can we do this quickly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely, sir.
Yeah, just give me your
before
name.
that, shall we do, sir, sir, am I
Okay.
audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Okay, introductory remarks you want to give?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good morning. I am Soumya. A warm welcome to one and all present here. Service Selection Board (SSB) is an organization that assesses the candidate for becoming officers into the Indian Armed Forces. The board evaluates the suitability of a candidate for becoming an officer using a standardized protocol of evaluation system which constitutes personality, intelligence test, and interviews. I'm profusely elated to take an opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Major General Sudhakar Jee, son of Sri Purna Chandra Ji, a freedom fighter of repute from Rasalpur, Balasur, Odisha, a recipient of Tamrapatra from the President of India, and Miss Janja Mani Devi, the general officer, was commissioned into the Mahar Regiment of the Indian Army in June 1983. An alumnus of Sainik School Bhubaneswar, NDA Kadak Vaksala, DSSC Wellington, CDM Secunderabad, and NDC New Delhi. The general has nearly 4 decades of experience of command of troops in India and abroad. The general is one of the very few in the Indian Army who has had the distinction of having dealt with all the three sectors of the northern Indo-China border successfully. He also has been a military observer in United Nations Observers Mission in Sierra Leone, UNOMSIL, West Africa, awarded with several decorations including a Visis Seva Medal from the President of India for distinguished service. Not only a frontline leader, both in the army as well as in the overseas corporate as a president and the CEO in the multinational company in Oman, but also a poet, an artist and philanthropist, a motivational speaker, a writer who has authored several books and articles, continues to deliver talk on regional security perspective of India in premier institutions in India and abroad. Former colonel of the Mahar Regiment for 3 years, the general officer is a strategic security expert who comments on global geopolitics and strategy in print, digital, as well as mainstream national TV channels, mainly on Afghanistan, Pakistan, and China. Currently, the general officer is pursuing his doctoral thesis on Indo-China border. Now he is going to talk briefly about SSB and he will give some tips to crack the SSB interview to the young defense aspirants. On behalf of the Telegram channel CDS OTA, I thank him for providing his gracious presence to join us today to enhance our joy. We feel honored to have with us the Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Sudhakar Ji. Sir, you hardly need any introduction. Without any further delay, now over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Soumya. Thank you very much. The basic aim of getting together today is to find a way forward as to how to crack SSB. Okay. Now, before we get going ahead, I'll introduce you to someone like you all, one of the child from Bhagalpur. He came to meet me, and unfortunately, there was a mishap in the family. He had lost his father. He was doing his class 12th or joined engineering, I suppose. He had to leave his academic career halfway. He wanted to join army. He had failed 4 times in the he could qualify in a written test but couldn't qualify his SSB. So while he was going for coaching to Chandigarh, he went to his Masusa, who was also a brigadier in the Indian Army, my batchmate. And the brigadier had a lot of faith in me. He said, "Why the hell you are going to Chandigarh? You are unnecessarily puffing out money, 7,500 package, 11,000, 21,000. You go meet the brigadier." That time I was a brigadier. So this boy came and met me and at Delhi. And I didn't know that he was coming. So when he met me, I asked him 3 questions. He had been called for SSB to Bhopal Center. Okay. So I took him inside, gave him a cup of tea, spoke to him at length, asked him three questions. So why do you want to join army? First question. What is it that makes you feel that you are capable and qualified to be selected? And how do people see you? These are the three questions which I had asked. He had something to say, but he couldn't actually hit the nail on its head. I said, I'm telling you what reply one is expected to give. You please contact me after 7 days before you go for the SSB. So he came after 7 days, and when I abruptly just took him inside, asked him the same questions, his natural reply was the repetition of what he had told me 7 days back. And I said, fine, since you cannot change, you reply what you are replying, but reply it passionately in a truthful manner. Do not hide anything. So he had come as a pillion rider. One of his friends came to drop him at my house. So just about when he was going back, I called him, Praveer. He's a captain in the army now, must have become a major. I said, please come. I said, Beta, you have lost your father, the bread earner in your family. You told me that you have no money. You have a younger brother who stopped going to the school because the fees cannot be paid. Your mother doesn't work anywhere. And your mother's brother, that is your uncles, are not supporting your mother. Okay? So what more do you expect in life? You have lost everything. There's a huge responsibility on your shoulder. 4 times you have faced SSB. Why are you holding yourself back? You have lost your father. You have lost everything. You don't have any source of income. The whole family is dependent on you. Why are you scared? Why are you so afraid to speak or come out with? That is why, ladies and gentlemen, we started this session by asking each one your name and the place from you're speaking. The energy must flow. Your level of energy within you should be such that it has to flow, it has to be loud and understandable. Okay, I'm not saying you speak, anglicized English, British English. You speak such Hindustani English which is understandable, with which you can communicate. So what is it that in SSB, what is SSB? SSB is the Service Selection Board, which is the toughest in the world. There is no selection system anywhere in the world which is better than this SSB. No selection system nowhere in the world. So what is it meant for? Why is it different from other organizations? Why such a selection process is meant for officers who are joining armed forces? Why not for others, IPS and IS and all? They have a different system of selection. What is it that this constitutes? What all things are there? So in the short while I have said that I am not an expert, but I am good enough by virtue of my seniority and the length of service and having gone through the SSB, I think I am capable of telling you what you people are looking for. I'll relate it to my life, my own career. Ladies and gentlemen, long back in 1979, most of you wouldn't have been born. I had gone for Himalayan Mountaineering Institute adventure course. As soon as I came back, my school headmaster told me to apply for NDA. I said, sir, I am not prepared. I can't. He said, no, you have to fill up the application form. So I filled up. As luck could have it, I cleared in one go written test. And thereafter, one had to move for SSB at a short notice. So when I moved for SSB at a short notice, I found that I was way behind. I was way behind in comparison with others. But I was way forward when I was comparing myself with myself. So the whole SSB, the gamut of SSB, is to make every candidate realize what your true worth is. When that boy had come to my house at the time of departure, I asked him one question. How many times are you going to die before your actual death? He said, sorry sir, I couldn't understand. I said, do you तुम मर के मरना चाहते हो या जी के मरना चाह रहे हो? कि सर मैं जी के मरना चाह रहा हूं। क्या अगर जी के मरना चाहते हो, डर किस बात की है? निकालो सब कुछ तुम्हारे दिल और दिमाग के अंदर है, सब कुछ जिंदगी में पूरा फेल हो गए हो, पिताजी मर गए हैं, गुजर चुके हैं, माता के पास कुछ है ही नहीं, कोई सपोर्ट सिस्टम नहीं है, परिवार पूरा बिखरा हुआ है। व्हाट इज इट दैट होल्डिंग यू बैक? टेक एवरीथिंग आउट। Ladies and gentlemen, there were 2 vacancies in Bhopal in his batch. 766 candidates had come. And they selected 2. He happened to be one of them. So after he got through, instead of rushing back to his village in Bhagalpur, he came rushing. He said, I want to meet you. He came and touched my feet. I gave him some money from my side. I said, go teach your younger brother, make him a man. Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm trying to say is that be your natural self. SSB is trying to identify or make you realize what you are actually made of. Anybody who takes coaching, in our time there was no coaching. Nobody knew what SSB was. Anyone who goes through the process of coaching gets caught. So don't hide yourself. There is no way that you can actually fabricate and artificially respond to different kinds of things in the SSB. So far, so good. Anyone, any problems, any questions till now? Say yes or no. Are you all listening to me?
No, sir.
Have you understood what I have said? Be
Yes, sir.
Yes.
natural self. Do not fabricate. Do not make artificial yourself when you are going for SSB. Be your natural self. Be truthful. Speak the truth.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now we go on to the next issue. Armed Forces officers, this is the only organization, ladies and gentlemen, where you take a pledge. You take a pledge unto your death for the sake of national security. The nation comes first. Last man, last round, you have that thing, the safety, welfare, and the security of your nation comes first, always and every time. This is the Chetwood Hall. When you get through, when you go to Indian Military Academy, you will be passing out in this hall. You will get graduated. This is the motto. Motto has got 3 points. The safety, honor, and security of your nation comes first, always and every time. The safety, honor, and the comfort of the men under your command come next. Your own safety and own requirement comes the last. This is the order of priority which you are expected. That means you dedicate your life. It is not a job that you all are looking for. Yes, you will get salary, but I can assure you, in my 38 years of commissioned service in the army, I never got a chance to see the statement or the payslip. I didn't know how much a salary was coming. So soldiering is either you have it or you don't have it. Either you are with the nation or you are not with the nation. Army or armed forces do not take manias, people who count money every now and then. They have to be selfless. They have to be totally dedicated for the well-being and the growth of the nation. I wanted to clear it here and now. Second point is that there are 3 things in SSB they look for. There are many issues. The qualities are, if you Google in the internet, it will give out 15, 16 qualities. These are the qualities that you will understand nothing. All I am saying is be your natural self. I also didn't know I couldn't speak a word of Hindi or English when I went to SSB. But I said, like I told Pravir, Allah hoga to hoga, fail honge yaar maximum. Kya hai? Dil khol ke dil se sare nikalo. Take out everything. Be a fighter if you want to crack SSB. Okay. The most important thing that you have to keep in mind is that there are 3 paradigms, 3 verticals under which you are being observed and assessed. First and foremost thing is the psychology. Your thought. What kind of thoughts are prevailing in your mind? The second one is how are these thoughts getting articulated, your speech. Is there a synchronization between your thought and the speech where you speak? And the third thing is your deed. How do you perform, translate your thought into speech and from speech to action. If there is a coordination between all these three, then you are the right man. And let me tell you, leaders or combat leaders or officers in the armed forces, they are not born in the mother's womb. They are not born as armed forces. Everything is trainable. Everything. You have to trust yourself. You have to bring the best out in yourself. So therefore, when you speak your name, when you give your name, the name should be given out loudly. The energy must flow from high or the potential level to the lower level. There has to be a smile, there has to be cheerfulness, smartness. So with this, if you have understood the psychology, the intelligence, that is the speech, and the third is the group testing through which your deeds, your actions are being judged, we'll now go over it. All SSBs in India are spread over 5 days. First day, when you reach SSB, you will be reaching at the given time frame at the railway station. They call you to the MCO. You will get to know everything is there in your internet, but I'll only highlight the important aspects. And you are taken to the place where the center is. You will be given enough time to settle down. And after that, there will be an opening address. During our time, there used to be an opening address. And after the opening address, during the opening address, you will be giving out certain aspects of administrative details, how the camp is laid out, what is expected out of you, what is the routine in next 4 or 5 days that you are going to go through, what kind of do's and don'ts you are expected to follow. Okay, these kind of things. And thereafter, the second event on the first day, generally in our time, is to have documentation. There is no change. The format remains almost same. There is no change at all. So you have documentation, thereafter you are given a chest number. Just to avoid any kind of prejudice or parochialism or any kind of hierarchy going on here and there. This is one such test where you cannot afford to influence the SSR. No matter how hard you try, either you have it or you don't have it. Next. The second day, is basically the first day of the service selection board. Okay. So that is where you have the intelligence test. In the intelligence test, they show you some pictures. Some pictures, basically, it is called a picture perception description test, PPDT. 30 seconds, the picture is shown, and you are expected to give out the number of characters, their age, the sex, and you're supposed to write a story of the picture, and time given is 4 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be thinking 4 minutes is a hell of a long time. Yes, it will be a long time provided the first thought coming to your mind is the right thought. Do not waste time. First thought coming to your mind, start writing down. Because by the time you realize, the time will be over. The second test held on the second day or the first day of SSB is the group discussion. In the group discussion, they show you a picture, you're expected to write a story, and they'll be divided into groups. You will have 15 odd candidates in a group, and there will be a kind of a discussion held on each of the story written by every individual, so as to bring the entire group into a consensus. Then the results are declared after this particular test, and those who do not cut the ice, they go to the railway station after they collect the TADA, and the rest are divided into groups of 8 to 10 people. Once the groups are formed, thereafter a fresh set of chest numbers are given. So chest numbers are also being changed. You will not be given your mobile. I think the latest this thing is no mobiles are allowed. And thereafter, you must keep in mind that you are not competing against anyone. You are competing against yourself. The second day, you will have your psychological test or assessment. In the psychological assessment, you have series of tests. You have pictures, you have words, you have a host of other things. You have situations, you have self-description. The total of 9 tests divided over few days. So the second day, and don't worry, they will brief you before every test. They will brief you. They basically want to assess the subconscious behavior of the individual. Armed forces or army is all about what is there in you, must come out spontaneously. You cannot think and act. It should be developed and honed inside your mind and your heart. You have to be quick in your reflect. The spontaneity. Anything that comes out spontaneously is actually prevailing in your subconscious behavior. So basically, they want to find out what is there in your subconscious behavior. They will give you examples also. The first and foremost test is called as thematic appreciation test. The pictures are shown for 30 seconds. You are expected to write about the picture. Firstly, what led to the situation. You have to use your imagination. What led to the situation, what is going on in the picture, and what is likely to be the outcome. At the end of it, you will be given a blank slide, and you will be expected to write a story of your own, of your thought. Imagine a picture and write a story. Thereafter, you have the word association test, which all of you know. There are 60 words. Each word is flashed on the slide for 15 seconds. You have to write down your first thought. The moment you give time, no, ये तो ठीक नहीं है, मेरे को second thought पे करना है. Then you are losing your points. Good, bad, ugly, wrong or right, whatever is the first thought, please write down. And let me tell you, my elder brother, I had put his son into Sainik School Bhubaneswar. This boy took extreme steps because he was so passionate, wanted to join army. He cleared CDS 4 times. I gave him coaching, my personal coaching at home. I used to get up at 2 in the night to make him practice lecturate and all. He took coaching from Gopinath Bazaar. Despite my discouragement, I said, don't go for coaching. It will unnecessarily put you lopsided. And in the final chance, he almost got through. Almost, he was doing extremely well. Everyone in the group was saying, no, Siddharth, you are great. But unfortunately, he couldn't. So it's very difficult to say, where are you getting caught? There are not one person or two persons. There are a number of assessors who are assessing. So therefore, the word association test, 60 words, 15 seconds, you have to write a sentence. The first thought coming to your mind, write a sentence. Then you have situation reaction test. They will be giving you some routine life situations in a booklet. In our time, there are good numbers, I think 60 odd routine life situation. And you are supposed to complete the narrative in a given time frame. I think it is to be 30 odd minutes. You can Google and find out. And unless you're true to yourself, you'll be getting caught. So whatever is coming to your mind, without any fabrication, any artificial build-up of the narrative, just write down quickly. Thereafter, you have self-description. How do you feel about yourself? How do your parents look at you? How do your friends look at you? How do your superiors look at you? There are 5 different group of people which will be listed there. And how do you feel about yourself? Okay. So after you have finished all this, thereafter on the same day 2 itself, in the evening, your interview will commence. Interview has got a lot of marks, and you have to be relaxed, be informal. They will talk to you about the work that you are doing, the education, the family, the spare time achievements, the activities. It will last for 45 minutes to 1 hour. The opportunities that you have availed in your life and how you have utilized them, your academics, your extra co-curricular activity. And let me tell you, in the interview, whatever you say, you must know in depth. During my interview, I was not a very good cricket player. Since I had gone without any preparation, without any forethought, he asked me, which game do you play? In those days in my school, cricket was a routine game, apart from others, football, hockey and all. But cricket had become very popular, although I knew nothing about the cricket. So मेरे मुंह से निकल गया cricket. He said cricket. So what is the meaning of stumps? I didn't know the meaning of stumps, to be very honest with you. And what do you place over the stumps? I didn't know. So whether he caught me or not, I don't know. Then what else do you do? How do you pass your time? I said, I read books. Which is the latest book you have read? Fortunately, I read a book. I read a book, Jules Verne, Around the World in 80 Days. I read that book. I liked that book, the story. And I narrated. What is it that actually caught your attention? I said, when he came to Mumbai from the western sector to Kolkata, he traveled in so many days, and the kind of heritage that he has explained in India, moving in different modes of transportation. That actually fascinated me. Which is the other book of Jules Verne you have read? I said, no, I haven't. Anything else? I had read another book, Charles Dickens, The Pickwick Paper. But I didn't know the narrative or the storyline in detail. So he caught me there. But I told him every time he caught me, I don't remember. I have forgotten. In the interview, he asked me, why do you want to join army? Did you have some childhood indications? I said, yes, my father was a freedom fighter. One day he had taken me to the cloth shop and he showed me clothes of different. He wanted to buy me a pair of half shorts. So he asked me to choose. We had different colors, blue, white, khaki and other things. So I said khaki. So since that day, my heart is filled with that kind of emotion to dedicate myself for the nation building. And there is no better organization than the army. Why army? अब मेरे मुंह से inadvertently the right thing came out. I said कि the sense of जो गर्व, I was not very good in English, but I spoke whatever came, half Odia, half Hindi, with total simplicity. I said the sense of pride that one gets by becoming a soldier. Can you explain this sense of pride? Yes, I have been watching my father selflessly. He goes out of the house without anything, no money, nothing in his bag, and committing himself for the development of the society. That is true leadership. Leading people from not from the front, but from behind, not leaving anyone. That is the kind of commitment. So in the interview, I would only urge and suggest to you that, ladies and gentlemen, do not hide anything. Do not fabricate anything. If you know things, say yes. If you don't know, then you are just too bad. But all I would urge each and every one of you, you must have your hobbies, some kind of extra co-curricular activities. In fact, I went to the extent that I am from a village, I play guli danda. He was so very fascinated. He said, what is the origin of guli danda? I said, I don't know. But I have been playing with one of my closest friends. So essentially, what you have to do is develop some kind of a hobby. Could be book reading, could be trekking, could be this thing. I had just come back from HMI, so I had something to say. I said, obstacle race is also one of my hobby. I have been trying to break my own record. It's a basketball, it's my hobby. I have got some prizes in painting competition at the international level. Jawaharlal Nehru, some international competition. So painting is another pastime. Gymnastic I was very fond of. Boxing I used to do in my school days. So I had something to blabber and, waste his time. But he selected, he said, yes, this boy is up and about. But that's not the end of it. You have day 3, which is called the Gto test. It's a group testing. So far, so good. Are you all listening to me or you need a break?
Yes, sir, we are listening.
Only one
No break, sir. No break, sir. Continue.
Continue.
Yes, sir.
All of you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
of you? All of you are becoming fighters to crack SSB?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Purovi?
Yes, sir.
Sunil? Ayushi Bauria?
Yes, sir.
Lavanya? Lavanya has gone up to sleep. Tanu? Shweta, Puravi Khatwa?
Yes, we're listening.
Yes, sir. We
Yes or no? So some of you have gone to sleep. Okay. No issue. No issue. Sleeping is your birthright. You have to make your choice, take your preference in your life. Achha, okay. So we go ahead then. We go ahead. The day 3 essentially has got GTO test. What is GTO test? It's a group testing. The group testing officer, he will conduct your test. Morning time, he will call you over, he will carry out a briefing, he will explain to you how things are to be done. Essentially, they see you how you face obstacles in life. They will be artificially created obstacles. They will judge you as to how logical is your thought process is. Are you cut out? You see, in your life as a military officer, you are supposed to keep your eyes and ears open. Your awareness level has to be very, very high. That interview is all about the awareness. What is happening around the world? What is happening in the country or around the country? Okay. So in the GTO test, they try and see logic and they try and assess you on your the coordinating efforts in a team. It's called a team spirit. How do you operate in a team? Are you fighting? Are you giving a chance to others to show their potential? Are you carrying all of the team? Do you have leadership quality? How good are you? How effective are you in your communication ability? Okay, so these are the things that they will be looking at. And in a group, in individually, in that you will be expected to form plan, implement or execute the plan, correct yourself if there is a time and resources available, rectify. Do you cater for contingency planning or not? Those kind of things. So there are different kinds of tests. There are about 9 of them on day 3 and day 4. Day 3, I think, if I remember correctly, there are 6 tests which are conducted. The first and foremost is the group discussion on debatable topic. This group discussion is held under 2 heads. The first one is they will give you some topics. You have to select one of the topic, and the second one is the choice is given by the GTO himself. He will choose a topic and give it to you. Time. So one of the 2 topics you will be expected to speak. They will give you some time over 20 to 30 minutes. Exchange of ideas should be the central point in this particular activity. And if there is a one-way flow of thought, then you are not fit to lead a team. You should give a chance to others. Generally, what happens is during these group discussions, you should be smart enough, very, very smart enough. Be a listener, good listener. Listen to everyone. But identify your punchline, and in appropriate forum, you should not be appearing to be grabbing for every opportunity to give a point. You disallow others and just mount on others to give your point. No, you should reflect your maturity, your responsibility. Be beyond your age in certain behavior matrix and in your opportunity. Okay, and there is no harm when you are articulating something. You could take reference of the names of your colleagues who are in the group. Compliment somebody. Don't bring down anyone in a group. Give your point. The smart move would be listen to everyone, sum it up nicely, give your point, some value addition to what others have said. That will give you a punchline as a leader. So, having done that, I have told you 2 types of group discussion. One is selected, topic is selected by you, the other one is selected by the GTO himself. Make sure that it is not one-way flow of information. Everyone, if you think that there is one person who's dominating the discussion, butt in, chip in. You say, Suresh, I think you've had your say. Should we listen to Swati? Should you listen to Lavanya? Should you listen to, let's say, Shweta Brai? Give her a chance. By doing so, you are not only displaying your leadership quality, but also you are demonstrating your tact, maturity, team spirit, team building. Then you have a thing known as group planning exercise, GPE. In the group planning exercise, they will In all these tests, they will explain, they will brief. Don't worry. Don't get flustered. They will give you a problem. You are expected to individually find a solution, think logically, draw neatly. You'll be expected to draw a diagram also. And you will have a group collective discussion. The entire group will be participating in the discussion. Participate in that. And one of you, maybe in the group, will be selected by the GTO to come forward and present your plan or explain the plan to the SSS and the team. The next one will be the progressive group test, in which there will be four, I think I remember correctly, there are four group obstacles. It is not one, there are four group obstacles to be negotiated. Time is around 40 minutes. In that 40 minutes, the whole team, all of you together, will be negotiating the obstacles. While negotiating the obstacle, they see how each one of you is behaving. Effectively, as a team member, as a leader, as a participating member, are you contributing enough? Then thereafter, you have a group obstacle race. The earlier one is called as progress group task or progressive group task. The next one is known as group obstacle race. In this, the entire group is required to complete a series of 6 obstacles. The whole group, not individually. For example, you have things like, a gunny bag or maybe a tarpaulin tied up and made to look like a snake. And all of you in the group, 8, 10 of you, will be lifting up the snake. It will be heavy enough on your shoulder and will be made, you all will be expected to negotiate the obstacle without dropping the snake anyway. You have to carry it all through and through. That's called a snake race. In the snake race, they judge how you help each other out. How do you share the burden in a team? Thereafter, you have half group task. It is similar to the progressive group task which I covered earlier. But in this, there is only one obstacle. And in that one obstacle, the earlier one in progressive group task, you had 4 group obstacles. But in this, you have only one obstacle. All of you will be expected to negotiate. And finally, on this day 3, you have a lecturate. In lecturate, it is an informal talk, 3 minutes to prepare, and you have to speak for 3 minutes on any topic that you choose. If I remember correctly, in my SSB, they had given a topic, I think. In the list of topics, they said a blind woman and a beautiful girl. A blind woman, a blind girl whose IQ or intelligence was higher than the beautiful girl, fair-looking, beautiful girl. Who will you marry? Now, if I ask Mayur Patel, who will you marry? A blind girl, not so good-looking, or a fair-looking girl, good-looking and bright? It's a natural instinct to be attracted towards something beautiful. People who are assessing you, they know the truth. Human eyes, our selection system is such that we get attracted to what is convenient, what is comfortable, which is attractive. But if you go away from the main course of choices and selection, you have to have enough of justification. I had selected a blind girl. Not so good looking. I selected in my life. In the interview, as also subsequently. Incidentally, my mother was deaf and dumb. My father was a freedom fighter. He was class 5 passed. He was in the jail for nearly 6 years. One didn't have the luxury of seeing golden things in life. That's how the choice. So be truthful. Whatever comes to your nature. How will you deal in a situation like this in your lecturing? So anything which is there naturally in your mind. Poverty, I had seen poverty very closely. So I brought it out. I had gone to school, my village school, we didn't have enough to eat. No clothes. So there was nothing to hide in such kind of things. So bring out whichever topic you select. Speak when you make form or frame your lecturate. Make sure that you give a background. Okay. And in the background, you establish the necessity. What is it that you're trying to prove or build up your narrative? Thereafter, you give your experimentation, your analysis. After analysis, you give your recommendation. In 3 minutes, these are the things that you can cover. Just about one page. It should not be more than one page. One page of handwritten script will take anything up to 3 minutes, 2.5 to 3 minutes. But if you have gift of the gab, where is Tanu Chaudhary? Tanu? Tanu is left. Okay. So if you have the gift of the gab, well, it is entirely up to you how you articulate. But the basic thing they see is that what are the choices you are making in life? The same thing is going to manifest in your day-to-day life as an army officer, or armed forces officer. The next one is the day 4 is the group testing. In that, it is at individual level. They check your stamina, they check your determination.
No,
And
sir, I'm there.
oh, no, I was just joking, just kidding. Okay, you're from Northeast Delhi, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So you are there. I'm so happy. And
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm listening you.
okay, fine. So I just at random, I wanted to, I have also gone through your stages of life. One tends to switch off. The mind is at number of places, and this is the time of technology world. You have a mobile on one hand, Kindle in the other, and iPad on the third one. So see, this is how the noise, the vehicle, some noise is outside. So all of us are surrounded by pollution, noise pollution, distraction in the mind. In our time, fortunately, comparatively, it was not as polluted as it is now in the country. So on the day 4, basically there is a group testing in which they check your capability as an individual, your stamina, your determination, your resolve. There is an obstacle course. There will be 10 obstacles, 3 minutes time to cover. But if you happen to complete the entire obstacle course, you're welcome to repeat the course once again, or selectively, or entirely. In this, they basically see your stamina, your strength, your resolve, your determination. Then you have command task. Each member will be given the command of the group. Your group will have 8 to 10 people. You will be made the commander. They will give you a task, they will give you time, they will give you ropes, planks, everything, all the resources required, and they will ask you to complete the obstacle or the task given. If you fall short, do not become nervous. Tell your plan, the mental picture that you have, you are expected to share that with. And after that, ladies and gentlemen, you have final group task. In the final group task, ladies and gentlemen, the entire group will get together to complete the group's task together as a team. On the last day, ladies and gentlemen, and mind you, all these, the second, third, and fourth day in the afternoon, you are having interviews. You'll be given prior notification. You'll be told that so and so date, so and so time, so and so interview. This is the interviewing officer. You have to go and give your interview. Fifth day, you have a thing called as conference. Conference essentially has got 2 major events or 3 events. One is the closing remarks or the closing address, in which the merits of the selection system is highlighted. Feedback, it is an interactive form. You are welcome to give your points, okay, suggestions. Then the board conference is the major event which takes place. It's chaired by the president or the vice president of the center. All the SSS are made to sit in a semicircular kind of a sitting profile in a conference hall. The consensus of the personality of the individual that has manifested in these 4 days are discussed, they're debated. Your merit is also analyzed. The candidate is sitting in front. Everyone, all the SSS, essentially there are 3 GTOs who are assessing you. Primarily, they're seeing your main three issues: psychology, intellect, and the third one is how you perform, your deeds, your activities, your command responsibilities. I have said the psychology, in which your thought is checked, your intelligence, your speech is checked, and the third one is your action, your deeds, that is the group testing. So these three people, they give out their views, some summation of all the inputs which have come. And in that, after it is debated, you will also be given a chance to speak there on the comments of this thing if you have anything to share. Thereafter, the marks are the points. Whatever you secure is read out. It is very, very transparent. One of the best systems that I have come across in the world. And finally, at the end of it, the technical officer of the board, he will announce the result. Those who are selected, they return there. It is followed by a medical examination, which lasts for about close to 7 days. In some cases, repeat cases goes beyond 7 to 9, 10 days also. And those who don't make it, they are requested to move back to the railway station. Ladies and gentlemen, I have finished the sequence, the activities that take place in the SSB. But what I haven't told you, or maybe inadvertently I might have covered you, how do you crack the SSB? First and foremost thing is, do you really want to crack? If the answer is yes, then what is stopping you from cracking? People who qualify, I'm a person who was from village background. I could speak a full sentence of English during my time, but I used to read a lot. Nor could I converse in Hindi properly. There is a thing known as non-verbal language. When we are unable to articulate in communicable kind of expressions, then the body language, you have to be filled with positivity, filled with knowledge. Awareness level has to be high. How does it happen? 5 things, 5 basic things. Read, write, speak, listen, teach. Teaching is the sum total of all these attributes. Today I write articles for newspaper, magazines. They have started asking, they have started getting published. To write an article, if you have to write a paragraph, you have to write at least 3 to 4 books, 3 to 4 magazines, 3 to 4 newspapers. My day cannot begin without having read the newspaper. I cannot go ahead beyond 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock unless I watch the TV news. I am a news-centric. My wife is very fond of Korean serial, so she keeps on watching Korean serial on the laptop. I participate in the TV discussion. These days I have taken a back seat because I was coming too much into limelight. Friends like Vignesh, they have selected me, so I thought I might as well go into hibernation. So off and on, they keep taking this thing. I am already onto the local channel here at Jaipur. So to speak something worthwhile, you have to read a lot. I am on the interview. A lot of YouTube channels are taking my interview on regional security perspective of India. One of them I have shared with Vignesh yesterday. Did you get that clip, Vignesh? Vignesh, I had sent a clip yesterday about Central
Yes, sir.
Asian. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, all I am saying is, nobody, your parents will not tell you to read this or read that. You have to tell yourself. You have to select your aim. What is it that you are looking for? What do you want to become? The teachers will guide you. They will show you the way. They will make you feel thirsty. That is the true meaning of a teacher. But they will not make a concoction of mango shake or something like that and give you. Here, my child, drink this. You have to make that concoction. You have to decide. It is like that Praveen. What is it that you're holding yourself back? So when he came back from the selection, I said, what made you feel that you should come here? Ki no sir, jo aapne bola tha कि तुम मर के मरना चाहते हो या जी के मरना चाहते हो बस सर एक चीज I asked him, tell me one thing which actually inspired or motivated you or gave you a kick to give your best. Sir, one thing, sir. बाकी सब भूल गया, pride, prude, कुछ याद नहीं रहा. What is it? कि सर वो जी के मैं मरना चाहता हूँ. मरूंगा एक बार, लेकिन मर के नहीं मरना चाहता. So day one, right from day one, he just took off. There was nothing stopping him. There are students who had come for the 5th time, or candidates who had come for the 6th time even. You have to make up your mind, boys and girls and young ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to qualify or not. कोई माथा पे लिख के तो नहीं आता ना कि फौज में मैं फौजी ऑफिसर बनूंगा. I've told you the system. There is no question of parochialism. There is no mobile connectivity, no bhai-bandi. It is possible. Nobody knows anyone for those 5 days. So, second thing I wish to tell you, in the process I have told you, read, write, speak, listen, and teach as a daily ritual. Even at this age and service, I do these 5 things regularly. Read something professional, read something which is out of profession, something which is going to enhance your awareness, make you reach and understand things, make you share things with your colleagues. Be a leader. You got to know something extraordinary, something different. Leaders are people who do not do different things. They do things differently. Keep in mind that. Second and most thing is there are few attributes, principles of life, because this is all about leadership. 5 things. Have faith in yourself. You can have faith in yourself provided you have some basic things. You know your job, you know your profession, you know what you're expected to do, and you also know what you are looking for. You have to have the factor of trust. You must trust yourself. There is an old saying, Abraham Lincoln, take your mind back. All of you are educated. You are from well-off places. He said, you can cheat others, but you can't cheat yourself. Everyone has a narrative. Each one of you, those who are listening, those who are not listening. I hope, Vignesh, are you going to record this? Is the recording on?
Yes, sir. The program is recording, sir.
Okay. So maybe you'll make a YouTube or something like this, and thereafter it will circulate. So all I'm saying, have faith in yourself. Select in your life your mother, your sister, your brother, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your father, your stone, or Panditji, Granthi, maybe your mullah, wherever. You have somebody in your life where you can go and vomit out. Don't bottle yourself with unnecessary things. Be onto a positive, progressive, and productive path. Select a roadmap which will take you and make you a better, effective, contributing citizen for the nation building. Choice. You have to take a choice. A soldier is a soldier. He wanted to become a god. He couldn't. Hence, he's a soldier. That is why in the advertisements you would have seen, do you have it in you? So what is it? I can't also give the answer, do I have it in me? I asked one of my friends when Vignesh was asking, so specialized training attributes. I said, for specialized training and attributes, please speak to Colonel Mahinder Pal. I've given the contact number. He's spoken to him. He's running a successful coaching center in Delhi. He's from my regiment. And most of the people, those soldiers who died in the conflict zone in Jammu Kashmir, along the border, LC line of control, their wives have been coached. They have become officers. The widows. He is one of those very, very successful. He is very compassionate, very understanding. You can speak to him. He's dealing with cases on day-to-day basis. I've given you the broad outline. You go to the net, you'll find. I have collected a documentary film for you all, but I don't want to share because it will bias you. The whole narrative is revolving around One aspect, be truthful to yourself. Simplicity is nothing. Sadgi. Life में जो सादगी कहते हैं, सादगी comes out of truthfulness. Your righteousness is purely based on truthfulness. That is why I'm time and again saying, you can cheat others, but you can't cheat yourself. The benchmark, the barometer of testing whether you are on a truthful path or not, put your hand on your heart. I don't meditate. I used to worship, but I do pray on daily basis. For a few minutes in the morning, for a few minutes in the evening. Just to recount whether have I gone wrong in leading my life? Did I hurt anybody's feeling? Did I deny the rightful entitlement of a person? And develop the art of giving without expecting anything in return. Today, Vignesh was calling up time and again in the morning. We were trying to coordinate. I was also quite concerned whether this is called Telegram will connect on laptop or not. So he had a breakthrough last night. So today, when he was calling up, I was busy. My brother-in-law is a special child. He's 52 years old. IQ is less than 5%. He lost his parents long time back. He's been with us. Today he had soiled the entire house. The house was in disorder. My wife was at her best. She is also a retired colonel from the army or doctor herself. No servant will do anything to look after your own relations today, no matter how much of money you pay. The whole house was in disorder when Vignesh was. So, करते करते बात करते मुंह से निकल गया मैं, अरे यार, what did I tell Vignesh? Did I tell you, Vignesh? My brother-in-law has soiled the house.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All I'm trying to indicate is that this is not to demonstrate or show somebody that we are very compassionate and philanthropic in nature. It's a way of life. My life is revolving around my brother-in-law. He can't communicate, he can't eat, he can't make his morning ablutions. He soiled the trouser, the complete bed, he dirtied the entire bathroom, wash basin, everything. So are we doing it to earn some money or some kind of a blessing from somebody? So the best way to serve the mankind or the humanity is to do something for somebody who cannot be expected to return anything to you. That is called a true selflessness. That is where in the battlefield, when your colleague has taken the burst or the burst fire of the machine gun or the LMG on his chest and he's almost dying, you'll be expected to crawl, go and pull him up. There is every possibility, every chance to make him survive if the timely treatment can be meted out. That is the kind of challenge the armed forces. That is when the question is asked, do you have it in you? My laptop, sorry, gentlemen, has certainly gone off. So we are connected. That's why my laptop was flicking on and off. So I hope you all can see me and hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there are many more things I wanted to actually share because earlier we had planned at some point in time to deliver the talk leadership in everyday life. But by and by, clarity crystallized the thought process and Vignesh said the basic requirement. Now, when I saw your questionnaire, I found it is primarily to deal with how to crack SSB. The only way to crack SSB, ladies and gentlemen, be sincere and honest to yourself. Do not hide anything. I told you, you have to manage your time. You have to be very clear as to what you're looking for. If you really intend to crack, then you must be very, very decisive in your approach. Be very focused. With strong resolve and determination, nothing can stop you. Be upfront. If you think if a question is asked, if you don't know, firstly listen to the question silently. Understand. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give a gap. And thereafter respond to the question. Spontaneity doesn't mean that वो question पूछने से पहले आप उत्तर देना शुरू कर दोगे. No, listen to the question. And unless it is pointed towards you, give others a chance. Your opportunity will come. So how many places, where all can you hide yourself? There are so many tests which I have told you. Somewhere or the other, you will get caught if you're trying to hide something in you. So be your natural best. Just tell the truth. If you have a broken relationship, if you're a boyfriend, you had some trouble with your father, your mother, say so. So I had trouble with my parents. Oh, my father is so and so, so and so. Despite that, sir, I have come up to this level. My father was deaf. He couldn't hear. When he was in the jail, he had taken the beating in Barampur jail, before that in Patna. On his head, there were stitches on his head. He lost his hearing power. He learned 5-6 languages while he was in the jail. And I took pride in saying my father is only class 5 read. Class 5. He's deaf. My mother, what she said, nobody could understand what we spoke, what we said, whether she understood or not. She only knew. But the love and affection, the way she took care of us, people hesitate to state all this. And next point is get into the habit of reading 2 national dailies. Take your call. It could be any newspaper. I read Times of India and the Hindu. Earlier I used to take, my daughter used to take 3 of them, Indian Express, Hindu and Times of India. Start reading books. Get into the habit of carrying a book. Anything. It could be fiction, it could be on autobiography. If you really want to build your narrative for your life, go into the Google, select 10 best autobiographies of top leaders in the world. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, likewise, Henry Kissinger. Read about the history. Anyone who doesn't know much about history is bound to be doomed to be destroyed. So these are the few issues. There are many more things I wanted to speak. Time I have taken almost about 1 hour plus now, 1 hour 15 minutes. Should you have any questions, you are most welcome. You can